So you want to build a business and a life with purpose? Beautifully Consumed is the obsession it takes to make it happen. I'm Chelsea Leigh. Keep listening if you're ready to create a life that's undeniably yours. Let's get into it. Hey besties, welcome to Beautifully Consumed. I'm your host, Chelsea Leigh. I'm so glad to have you here today because we are talking about one of my favorite topics, and that is social media. I love social media marketing, strategy, growth, tips, all these things. Social media is just my jam. I feel like I'm really good at it and I enjoy being on social media most of the time. I'll put that caveat in there. Sometimes I wish I could just burn it all down and be one of those cool people that doesn't have social media. But for the most part, it has provided me my business and entire way that I live my life, and it's allowed me to pay my bills and opened up so many doors for me. I really think it's an amazing tool and I'm so grateful for it, and I love learning how to use it and keeping up with updates, and it's a constant challenge because it's ever changing and evolving and growing, and the things that we used to do don't always work in the future. So it feels kind of like a fun game to figure out. I would challenge you to look at it that way if you're somebody who feels frustrated with Instagram, because I know currently it is end of July 2026 as I'm recording this. Lots of people are feeling extremely frustrated with Instagram. A lot of people are saying their reach is down, their growth is down, they're posting all this stuff and people just aren't seeing it. It feels kind of dead, but I want to prove those people wrong. So in March of 2026, I didn't already have enough Instagram accounts, so I decided to start a new one. That's sarcasm if you can't tell. I have way too many Instagram accounts, but I was like, a 10th Instagram account sounds perfect right about now. So I started a brand new Instagram account. I think it was like March 5th or 6th was the first day I decided to post on it. And I grew that account from 0 to 20,000 followers in less than 90 days. Yes, you heard that right. 0 to 20K in 3 months. And I'm going to break down everything I did to make that happen. I can't guarantee the same is going to happen for you, but I do just want to share my strategy, my results, my experiences with you. And hopefully you can take some of these tips and tricks and strategies and apply that to your account to hopefully see some growth. Again, I can't guarantee that if you do this, you're going to grow 20,000 followers in 3 months, but I am just sharing with you exactly what I did to make that happen. So for everybody out there who is like, Instagram sucks right now, let me prove you wrong. Let me show you that it can work if you work it. Let me just tell you about this account first, because I feel like I need to provide some context before we get into it. To start with a story, a few summers ago, I was feeling kind of burnt out with my business and I was working a lot. And I needed a hobby. I am one of those people who turned my hobby and creativities and passions into my business, which I think is amazing. And I think there's a lot of perks to that, but there's also a lot of cons that come with that. And when you turn your hobby or your passion into a business, it starts to, or it can start to feel not as fun anymore. I think it's super valuable and important to have hobbies and creativity outside of your business, even when your business is something creative and fun. You know, at the end of the day, it's still work. You need something to do that isn't work outside of work. I wanted something that was actually going to get me outside, get me in the sun, get me some fresh air. I'm generally an active person, so I do love to work out, but I just wanted something a little bit different outside of working out. Something that felt a little bit more free and creative. So I decided to start growing flowers in my backyard. I know this is so out of left field. I am undiagnosed ADHD, or I guess self-diagnosed ADHD. I swear I have it. And I just get obsessed with starting new projects and learning new skills and new things like that. So I decided to start growing flowers. I had never grown a flower in my life, but I threw down some seeds in the dirt. They grew and I absolutely fell in love with it. So the next summer, I went all out. I turned almost half of my yard into a flower garden. I grew all sorts of flowers I'd never grown before, different varieties, things like that. And then I took it a step further and I decided to start cutting those flowers and making bouquets and selling them in my front yard. So I made like a little roadside flower stand and just was taking like cash and Venmo on the honor system, growing flowers in my backyard, cutting them and selling them in my front yard. Of course, I'm a business owner, I'm an entrepreneur. I had to take this hobby and turn it into some type of monetization opportunity. Who is surprised by that? But it's not like a full-blown business. This is more just like, hey, I'm kind of making my money back from the supplies I spent to create the garden and, all my dirt and whatever, seeds, and then just like a little extra grocery money, I guess. So this isn't like a business. This is just kind of like a fun, very, very, very small side hustle. So that was in summer of 2025 that I blew up my yard and turned it into a full-blown cut flower garden and started selling bouquets in my front yard. So now we're in summer of 2026 and I have this flower account that has, I think I'm at like 22,000 followers right now. That's kind of the backstory on what I'm about to tell you about and what this account is about. So let's go ahead and break down the exact strategy and everything I did to make this account pop off and grow to 20K in less than 3 months. First thing was in the summer of 2025, I love social media. I love filming stuff. I've always loved photography and video editing before that was even a thing with social media. So that's kind of like been a part of my life ever since I can remember. I used to have a GoPro and I would make like vacation videos and put them on Vimeo with music. And so I've been doing this kind of stuff since before it was the thing to do on social media. So I actually last summer would set up my camera while I was picking flowers and making bouquets. And I just kind of like recorded what I was doing and filmed my flowers, mostly because they're so pretty and they made me so happy. And I kind of just wanted that in my camera roll for when winter came along and my yard was, dead and all the flowers are dead and it looks ugly and the trees are bare. It was kind of nice to scroll back through all my pretty flower videos and pictures just for a little dopamine boost. So I had recorded all of this content last summer with no real intentions of posting them. So I think that would be my first tip if you are looking to grow on social media, to have kind of like a folder saved in your camera roll of content that you can just pull from and use. That is going to make it a lot easier when you need to go ahead and start posting a lot of content to have this pre-batch stuff. I wasn't out there like filming formal videos and talking to the camera or anything. I am talking B-roll style content where you just set up the camera and record whatever it is that you're doing. I just recorded my flowers. I recorded me cutting my flowers. I recorded me planting seeds and all of that kind of stuff. While I was making bouquets, I would just set up my camera and record a few minutes of it. And then I created a folder in my photos on my phone where anything that had anything to do with flowers, I threw it into that folder in my Photos app. So that way it was super easy for me to go ahead and pull from that. Now, this definitely isn't a requirement. Like if you're starting a new account or starting something completely new and that sounds overwhelming and daunting to you, you certainly don't have to do that. It's just going to make your life a lot easier if you do have stuff ready to post. Maybe the flower thing isn't resonating with you. Maybe you make candles or something. You can just set up your phone. Anything you do that has your candle in it, whether you're making the candle or not. Like let's say you're making your coffee in the morning and the candle is in the frame, like you're burning a candle in your kitchen while you're making coffee. Start collecting videos like that. It's so easy just to set up your phone, record 30 seconds, and you can clip that up and use just 2-3 seconds of those videos. Same thing, like if you're more of an online or digital business, just get a few clips of you sitting at your laptop and typing on your laptop, talking on the phone. You can even have stuff that doesn't necessarily pertain to your business per se. B-roll is anything that has you or your product ideally in it, but it could just be stuff that's relevant to what you're talking about. So if you're a personal brand and your vibe is like beachy type vibes, you can have videos of the waves at the ocean or shells that you found at the beach. Start watching social media posts and you'll notice little clips here and there that aren't necessarily like exactly what the person is talking about, but it's just kind of filler content, right? So you do want it to be relevant to what you are selling or sharing in your post, but just start collecting these videos and photos that you can use and organize them into a folder on your phone in your Photos app that you can pull from. And I'll get into this in more detail in a few minutes, but just start there by kind of having a backlog of content. It's going to make your life a whole lot easier. So that's what I did the whole summer before, was just film a bunch of flower stuff. And like I said, it mostly was for my personal benefit, but it just happened to work out for me. And I happened to have enough to use when I did start my account in March. Okay, my next tip is to pick one platform and really hone in on that. I feel like as ambitious people, we are very easy to get distracted by like shiny object syndrome and, oh my gosh, I should be posting on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, like all these things. That is the best way to burn yourself out. So when you're first getting started, really encourage you to focus on just one platform. I did choose Instagram, and the lovely thing about Instagram is you can hook it up with a Facebook page and have it auto post. So every time you post to Instagram, it just auto posts to Facebook. And that worked out really well for me. So I was technically using two platforms at once, but I was only having to make one post. I actually have over, I think, 12,000 followers on Facebook now. So between my two accounts on Instagram and Facebook, I've got over 30,000 followers just from the last 4 or 5 months. So pick one platform so you don't get burnt out. If you're really feeling ambitious, you can do TikTok and Instagram. I would just recommend posting the same thing. So create your video on TikTok, save it, upload it, and then post the same thing over on Instagram if you want to do that. But just know you're going to have to keep up with engagement and comments across both platforms. So my preferred way to do this was Instagram. It just felt easiest for me. I haven't really dived into TikTok yet. Okay, something else that I think made this account super successful, and this is definitely controversial, I chose to niche down. You probably hear advice all the time about choosing a niche, niching down, or not choosing a niche at all. You are the niche. You don't need to put yourself in a box. And I don't think there's a wrong or right answer to this. I think you just need to pick something and stick with it. And for me, creating a new account that was only about flowers was what was going to work for me. I didn't want to have a personal brand and sprinkle in flower content. That just didn't feel like the right thing to do. I just wanted to make an account and only post about flowers. I think I proved that that worked really well. To get even further, I didn't just post about flowers or gardening. I was posting about cut flowers. You grow these flowers for the specific reason of cutting them to make bouquets with them. So it wasn't just like, oh, how to grow flowers or how to start a garden. It was how to grow your own cut flowers so you can cut them and make bouquets with them. Very, very specific type of audience. And I feel like that was one of the things that helped my account blow up because one, it was super easy for me to create and post content about that because I knew exactly who I was talking to and what I was posting. And number two, the algorithm knew exactly what I was posting about and served it to the right people. So if there was people out there searching for cut flowers or how to grow cut flowers, whatever those keywords are, they knew to serve my content directly to those people. And that's exactly what happened. So you can argue that niching down doesn't work and it's a dated strategy, whatever. But this worked out really, really well for me in this instance where I am trying to educate people on how to do this one thing. And also, like I said, it really made it easy for me to know what I was going to post and be consistent with posting. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about what you want your account to be about or what you want to post about. Okay, next up, you're probably not going to want to hear this, but I posted 3 times a day for the first 6 to 8 weeks. I know that sounds like a lot of work, and it sort of was, but going back to the very first thing I told you, that is why having that Rolodex of content ready to go and use and be recycled is going to be so valuable and save you so much time, because posting 3 times a day wasn't so daunting when I already had all this stuff in my camera roll that I could just pick and choose from. I was picking, 2 seconds from this video and 5 seconds from this video, or using these photos in a carousel and just reusing the same content over and over and over again, just putting different text on screen or doing different voiceovers. That made it so much more simple to post 3 times a day. So like I said, I know you probably don't want to hear that, but I really do think that helped just boost my account, get it out there. The algorithm was like, heck yeah, this girl is gung-ho about posting. She's posting really good content, the same things over and over again. So we're going to show her stuff to everybody who wants to see it. Don't do it if you don't want to. I do think posting quality stuff over quantity really works well, but I was posting quality and quantity because I already had that index of videos and photos already saved. So half the work was already done for me. So that's why I really talked about point number 1 in a lot of depth and detail. I think that will save you a lot of time. Next up, I used a tool that I will rave about forever. As long as they are around, I will rave about them. This is one of the most incredible tools I have ever used, and I think this deserves at least 40% of the credit as to why my account blew up the way it did. And that tool is called ManyChat. So it's a DM automation tool. I know if you're on social media, you've seen it by now. When someone says comment this word and you comment it, and then they send you a DM with a link, or they send you a DM with information, whatever the case may be, that DM is automated based on the word that you comment. This tool is so incredible. I wish I could shout it from the rooftops. I'll probably do a whole nother episode just on ManyChat and exactly how I use it. So if you do want more information on that, definitely let me know in the comments. If you have questions about ManyChat, I'll be sure to address them in a future episode. And I would like to say I am not sponsored by ManyChat, but I will drop my affiliate link in the description below. So if you do want to try ManyChat for yourself, I would love if you used my affiliate link. Okay, so I used ManyChat from the get-go. Before I even made my first post, I set up ManyChat on my account and I decided what the keyword would be. And the way this works essentially is I'm providing value by providing you something in the DMs that you're commenting this word, and I'm sending you something of value in the DMs. But by you commenting, you're providing me value because that is engagement with my post. Instagram sees that as engagement. They're going to push your post out to more and more people, the more comments you get. And this is something that goes on forever. I still have people commenting the keyword on my very first post. So months later, people are still commenting that keyword and they're still getting an automated DM from me with the free PDF guide that I created and sent to them. It's such an incredible tool to connect with your audience, to provide value, to provide links, whether you're selling them something or giving them something for free, and it boosts your engagement on the algorithm. ManyChat and Meta, they are official partners, so it's not seen as like spammy or it's not going to hurt your account. They actually are partnered together and work together. So Instagram is going to push your stuff when you're using ManyChat because they support each other. So it's really just an incredible tool. I would love to go into more detail about it on a future episode, but that gets me into my next point, which is what I was using ManyChat for, was creating a free PDF that people could download. So before I even made my first post, I made a free PDF. It was just a couple pages long about 5 easy to grow cut flowers. I gave you 5 flowers and exactly what you needed to grow those flowers in your own garden. A ton of value, probably something I could have charged $20 for, but I decided to give it away for free to treat it as like a lead magnet to get people attracted to my account. And I just wanted to provide them some value so that they, know, like, and trust me later on down the road. So I set up this free PDF. In order to download the PDF, you had to give me your email address. So I put you on my email list and then I email you the free PDF. So I'm getting your email, you're getting put on my email list, but you're getting this amazing value in this free guide that helps you get started if you want to start your own cut flower garden. And a combination of all these things, so getting people on my email list, giving them the free PDF, and using ManyChat to deliver that information, these things just helped my account just blow up because I'm providing so much value. They're commenting the keyword, boosting engagement. I'm getting them on my email list. It's just like a win-win situation for everyone involved. And if you are posting like true valuable content that people want to consume, and you're giving them something in return, they will comment these keywords, they will follow you, and they will be invested in what you decide to do in the future. You really have to keep that in mind when you're trying to grow an account. You need to lead with value and what you can provide for the people that are going to be consuming and interacting with your content. So that brings me to my next point, which is I was sharing not only value, tips, information, but I also was sharing a story, a personal journey that I was going on. And that is what people love to see right now. People are loving to see you as a real, raw, vulnerable person and what you are going through, what your experience are, what your struggles are, what you're learning and taking away from this experience. People just want to feel like they're along for the ride with you. So not only was I sharing, hey, here's how to grow flowers and here's how you can do it and here's XYZ tips and tricks, I was sharing my story of here's how I decided to start growing flowers. Here's why I decided to start. And here's everything I'm doing in my yard this year. Here's what I'm growing. And I started that roadside flower stand. So I started sharing the journey of that. Hey, I cut these flowers today and I made 4 bouquets. I set those 4 bouquets out. How many of them do you think sold? And I turned this into a series that people wanted to come back to and watch because I was cutting the videos up into like part 1, part 2, part 3, which gave people a reason to come back. But it also was like a story or a journey that they could follow along. People are almost like cheering me on, like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. You sold out this weekend. I can't wait to see what you do next weekend. Or I've been thinking about doing something like this for myself and you inspired me to do it. People just want to see these like real stories as they are developing. We want to feel like we are right there with you, going through it with you, instead of like always coming from a place of authority and here's exactly what you should do and I'm perfect and I have it all figured out. People sometimes just want to be a friend and be there with you as you're going through these things. So think of a story or a journey that you can take people along with you as you're figuring it out, as you're learning something new. Maybe you're making and testing a new product. Take people behind the scenes of that and make it into something where it's a series where people can come back. Part 1, part 2, part 3, go all the way to part 35 if you want to. That will absolutely help your account to grow, but it also provides value and inspiration to other people. So we're trying to do this in like an ecosystem. You want things to be mutually beneficial for both you and the people who are consuming your content. And I think if you lead with that, you will absolutely grow your account. Okay, here is a question that I anticipate a lot of people will ask, and that is participating in trends or not. And if I go back and look at the content that performed really well on my account in just the last few months, I hardly ever participated in any trends. And I think that says a lot. I think trends are cool and fun, and it's a easy way to like film some content and get it posted and up, and it can help you blow up. But I think the things that really moved the needle for me, the things that got me a lot of followers, a lot of engagement, are those posts where I was sharing my story and my journey and giving people something to follow along with and relate with. Those original pieces of content way outperformed anything that was quote unquote trendy. Now, something I did incorporate for trend wise was audio. So in a lot of my videos in the background, I tried to incorporate trending audio that feels on brand for my flower account. So that can definitely help. But I think the point here is you don't necessarily need to focus on trends. That is not the sole way to grow. I think it can help you and it can assist, but focusing on real, valuable, good, original content, that is going to be the thing that makes you stand out. I feel like I could talk for a very long time about this topic and different ways to grow on social media, different strategies. This episode is definitely more of a high level overview of kind of the things that I think contributed to me having such quick success with this new account. And that is the last thing I want to say is that I did start a brand new account. I think there is something to be said for having a clean slate and kind of a place that is solely dedicated for the topic that you want to talk about. But that is absolutely not a requirement. I believe you can revive an account that you've already had and have followers on. If you want to grow that account, just go ahead and switch up your content strategy. Try something new, go all in on your current account. Don't feel like you have to start a new one. But if you do have something like this where it is extremely niche and very specific, it might be better to start a new account that is only about that thing instead of like confusing your audience and muddying down an account you already have and posting random things here and there. I think there's a very strategic way to make that work under the umbrella of a personal brand. And I would love to do an episode on that in the future about what a personal brand is and the best way to go about doing that and why it's important. I really think that is important in today's social media age. But if you are looking to do something specific, I do think starting a new account is probably the best way to go. Take one or all of these things and apply them to your account, whether it's an existing account or a new account, and let me know how it goes for you. I genuinely want to hear from you. So either leave me a comment below or DM me on Instagram, and I look forward to chatting with you. Also, make sure you check out the description for my ManyChat link if you want to sign up for ManyChat, and I'll leave the link to my flower account if you want to check it out. All right, I'll see you next week. Bye.